In this video I will show you how much the C7 price has changed and if there's an impact from the new C8. What's up YouTube and welcome to a new video. So around 1 year ago I made this analysis over here from the C7 market. And you won't believe the comments I received stating that it's all rubbish due to the introduction of the C8. Those people namely argued that C7 values would plummet because the C8 is so much better than the C7.
You can't explain driving this new Corvette. You've got a new engine, new transmission, you've got the mid-engine. There's a lot of newness about this vehicle that makes it revolutionary.
Now on the other hand, I also received a lot of comments stating the exact opposite. And those people argued that C7 prices will remain flat because it is the last Corvette with the front engine layout.
This Corvette, more than any other Corvette in the history of the brand, is the best of everything.
The questions what we are going to answer in this video are then also how much did the C7 prices change and is there a visible impact from the introduction of the C8? And we are going to do this by following a few steps. In the first step, I will introduce the current market picture to you and some different market breakdowns. Specifically, this means that we will have a look at some general market numbers and the depreciation per year. In the second step, we will compare the current prices then to the ones 1 year ago and figure out if the prices are in line with the expectations. Now before we start with the video, you need to know that I often make analysis about cars which are suggested to me in the comments. So if you would like to see the same type of analysis but for a different car, make sure to comment it down below. Also don't forget then to smash the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you get actually notified when your requested analysis goes live. Now then, step number 1. We're going to have a look to the market with this graph over here. And you can see it with the model year on the horizontal axis and the price on the vertical axis. And that each blue dot represents a car for sale in today's market. It's also important to point out that the prices are in US dollar because we're looking to the US market over here. Finally then, you need to know that only the Stingrays are included. All the other model types are excluded. Now if we look into this market, then we can see that there are 613 cars for sale and that the most occurring price point is $44,700. And for that price, you get a car with around 14,000 miles. You can however also see that prices already start at $30,500 but go up then till $79,900. Now a few things are interesting over here. First, you can see that the price variation within each model year is very large. And it is especially at the top end of the price range for each model year where the price distribution has a very long tail. And that is because two types of cars are in this area. The first ones are the new cars or the ones which are almost brand new. I even saw some unsold inventory from 2016. The second type of cars which are in here are the tuned cars, and these go for a premium compared to the rest of the market. Now if you look closely to this graph, you can also see that each model year has a black X in it. And these X's show the most occurring price point for each model year. And by looking to those, we can already see that there's hardly any price difference for the older cars. So let's put a line through this graph and make the depreciation visible. Oh, and besides the line, I also cleaned up the graph slightly. I namely only included new cars in model year 2020 and used cars in the other model years. This kind of cleaning exercise namely gives a much smoother and nicer depreciation curve. Now speaking about this depreciation, this is on average $2.8 thousand or around 4% per year. And this is a very good score. We can then also see that there's only a large drop in the first year and that after that the values are pretty stable. In the first year, a C7 loses on average $18,000 or 27% of its value. And those numbers are not uncommon in this price segment. After this initial drop, you can see that the curve flattens very quickly and that between model year 2014 and 2015, the price level doesn't change. And that's remarkable. Now if we start to drill down a little bit and split the market by the cars which have the Z51 package and the ones which don't have the package, then we can see that at the beginning of the car's lifetime, the ones which have the package tend to be slightly more expensive. And this is also apparent in the second year of ownership, but after that it becomes much harder to tell. There's namely not enough data to say something meaningful about the numbers over there. If we split the market then by spec level, then we also run in the same kind of problem. The majority of the market is namely made up out of cars which have the 1LT package, or at least that is what is claimed in the advertisements. Now so far we have been focusing on the current market, but we of course want to know how much the price has changed in 1 year's time. And that of course means that we need to look to two markets at the same time. the one of today, and the one of 12 months ago. It is then also that what is appearing now on your screen, where you can see it in blue we still have the current market, and then in orange we have the market 1 year ago. And remember that you're looking to the cleaned up versions of the market, meaning that there are only new cars included in model year 2019. Now if you look to this graph, you can see that we can't compare the markets one to one for every model year. You see, the market back then was a lot larger than the market today. A year ago, there were namely 3,434 cars for sale versus 513 now. And this is especially a problem for the model years 2018 and 2019. In today's market, those model years namely only contain around 25 cars each. And I think it is unlikely that those 25 cars represent each sub-market segment sufficiently. We are therefore going to focus on the model years 2014 till 2017, because there we have enough data points. Now before we continue, remember to support the channel by smashing that like button. Now if we zoom in, then we can see that the cars 1 year ago were more expensive than that they are today. But that's not really a groundbreaking discovery. Now the question here is of course, is the decrease what we are seeing more than what was forecasted? Let's have a look. For the cars with model year 2017, an average price drop of $1,300 was expected, while in reality, the market dropped with $1,700. Moving on then to 2016, a drop of $2,000 was expected, while it was $1,600 in reality. And finally, for model year 2015, a drop of $1,300 was expected, while in reality, the market dropped on average by $1,800. And these differences are based on the average price points in the market. But it's perhaps more correct to look at the median price points and the changes in them. And the median price point you can interpret as the most occurring price point for a given model year. Now I put the differences based on the median price points and the ones on the averages in a table, so let's have a look. You can see that we have for the average and the median base approach now two separate columns. And each column again has a forecasted drop, a realized drop, and the difference between the two. And it is this difference column over here which is key. You can namely see that there isn't really a pattern and that the actual drop is quite close to the forecasted one. Now I also ran some statistical tests on these numbers and they confirmed that the total market drop is real and unlikely to be the result of mere chance. And second, they showed that also the drops within the model years are real drops. And with that being said, let's wrap up this video and conclude. So did the C7 prices plummet due to the C8 introduction? I don't think so. The price drops themselves are very small and also don't deviate a lot from the expected drops. However, we need to address a few other things. It is very important to keep in mind over here that we are looking to advertise asking prices. Therefore, it could be the case that the advertised prices drop in line with expectations, but that the discount which you can negotiate increased. Unfortunately though, this is something which is very difficult to capture in the data. Now second, there of course happened more things in the world than just the introduction of the C8. We namely entered a recession. However, like I showed in the video which is popping up right over here, prices didn't start to drop yet. And the C7 market further reinforces this conclusion. Now it is of course not a guarantee that it won't happen, but based on the current estimates I think that the future depreciation on a C7 will be quite low. Now if you like this type of analysis but would have liked to see it for a different car market, then I recommend that you check out some of my other videos. If you browse through my channel, you will find analysis for Ferraris, McLarens, Porsches and many more brands. As always, a huge thank you for watching and I hope to see you next week for a new analysis.
We say the Corvette is a dream car for people. And so what we want to do is expand that dream.
It's more than just a car. It's more than just a sports car. It is an emotion, it is a passion, it is a vehicle that is larger than life,